let's talk about Target. So Target has recently been under fire. And when I say recently, I mean literally over a year that there have been stuff like this coming out. But recently under fire for their extensive selection of LGBTQ plus supporting, I guess, apparel, including, of course, all kind of shirts and pants and things with imagery that has rainbows and, inclusivity statements and all kinds of, platitudinal information, as well as children's tuck friendly swimsuits. Tuck friendly is in like folding the penis so that you can not see it for some reason. And I'm not going to get in depth into all that stuff because it's just like, okay, I don't know what, I don't even want to know or discuss the nuances of what the difference between a tuck friendly and a regular bathing suit are. We're not going to go there. But I am going to talk about people who are talking about boycotting Target and thinking that it's going to go the same way as Bud Light, or just even discussing it in that same manner. I won't advise to not try it because I haven't been shopping at Target since I found out that was happening. But I will say that I don't think that we should focus on necessarily boycotting as much as I think that we should focus on raising awareness that these things are happening and explaining to people what is happening. Showing the imagery of the things that are going on, I think, is a lot more shocking than if people were abstaining. So obviously, I'm not saying that you should continue to shop there, but it's very important that you are sharing and showing people what's going on at Target, because a lot of people shop there, man. I'm not going to lie. I like Target a lot. It's very easy to find a lot of good stuff there. That's where I personally go to purchase like free weights and things like that, just really quickly though. I mean, not like I can't go to Dick's Sporting Goods. It's just faster to go to Target. But I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit inconvenience in order to get a message across. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Out of all the companies that are coming out with all this pro LGBTQ agenda, including marketing with Dylan Mulvaney, honestly, Nike's going to be the hardest one for me. But I have no problem with doing that. I like shoes, specifically Nike. Nike is my favorite brand of shoes. I think they just make superior quality footwear. But I don't care about all of that. I just bought 2 pairs of Jordans back in March, maybe April, maybe early April, but I think it was late March. I had just bought 2 new pairs of Jordans. So, obviously I'm not returning any of those. I'm not burning my Nike clothes. Like, that's money that I already spent, and it does nothing to harm the company. But I won't be shopping at places like that until we get all this situated and people come out and actually apologize about the mistake they've made. Bud Light still hasn't done enough in everything that they've done to admit that they were wrong. They still haven't come out and downright admitted that they were wrong and that Dylan Mulvaney is not somebody to be marketed. We're waiting for that to happen. It's closing in. I think you can, I can't say for sure because it's not like I've been watching or paying too much attention to Dylan Mulvaney's content directly. It's only secondhand that I ever find out about anything that he's got going on, for learning about who decided to work with him, or, like what company has made this misstep next. So I say all that to say that when we're looking at the Target situation and discussing a boycott, I think that we actually need a strategic game plan. And obviously it's going to have to be loose because we're not talking about an organized group of people. We're just talking about a bunch of random people in the United States of America who don't like the indoctrination of children into any sexualized materials or themes. So we will keep it focal. We will keep it focused on that. I think that we should maybe start by reaching out to employees of Target who don't agree with that so they can start putting forth their complaints. anybody who is at Target who receives complaints from customers should forward those to the highest degree to let them know how often it's coming out. Because I'm sure there are people who work at Target who need their job, don't want to switch just because this weird random ass, things coming up. And I don't blame them for that. Like, I can't stand the people who are like, quit your job if you disagree. Like, in some context, that's right. There are certain things you can't compromise, even for money. Otherwise, you're just a slave. And depending on the position you're in. And then, there are some things where you can take the fight differently. You don't necessarily have to, like, where quitting would almost be leaving the battleground. And I think that Target is going to be one of those situations. So I encourage, if anybody watches this who happens to be an employee at Target, take all complaints that you hear about this information, about, this stuff, the children's gay clothes. Take it to the highest degree. If you, support removal of those kind of things and, want to keep continuing to be at your workplace, do that. For anybody who goes to Target and complains, make sure that they are taking it to the highest step that they can so that this becomes an actual, like a bigger thing than what it currently is. And I don't mean bigger as in blown out of proportion or people let their emotions rise too high or get too angry about it. We can handle this in a calm, cool, and collected fashion. But we have to let these companies know that this kind of stuff isn't going to continue. And then we have to let the United States government know that, of course, this kind of stuff isn't going to continue. But voting with your dollar is going to be very important to show them, because the government can't stop what the people are willing to put their money behind. That's one thing that they know. They can only try and pivot and try and guide the direction of that flow of money. But once the people have determined that they put their 2 cents behind something like a Daniel Penny, then that's when you start to see the real support and you start to see the government recoil from that, because they don't want actual fights. They want subservient, complacent people who are not going to be, rising up against what they try and force on them. So slowly and steadily, we will continue to push this issue until we, cause the I don't even know what to call this. It's so weird how, like, these businesses are jumping into this, because it was really, they have to actually believe, because the Twitter CEO was quoted as coming out saying that all this, woke marketing is great for business. He had to either be misquoted or not fully paying attention to what's going on here. Or maybe he was scared. Like, maybe in the context of who he was talking to, who was in the room at the time, he felt like that was something that he had to say. This is not people thinking that they're making the right choice. This is people thinking that they're making the best choice for their business, marketing wise. A lot of the time, like, these aren't people who believe this kind of stuff in their hearts. But that's why you need to let them know, clear-minded individuals, regular Americans need to let them know that this is not what we're supporting. And we're not going to just stand here and let you do all this wild stuff and we're just going to blindly continue on. No, because that is creating a very negative situation in the United States of America. So that's where I'll leave this. Keep going, keep pushing. We will make all of them apologize for their actions in the end, without doing anything violent, without, you haven't heard anybody say, let's go to Target and F up the store. You haven't seen anybody say anything like that, which I think is an important thing to note out, or to make note of here. All of the people complaining about Nike, Target, all of these places that are retail locations that could easily have bad things happen to them, nobody ever talks about going and destroying a Target or a Nike store. I wonder why that is. It's almost as if this group of people who are against this certain agenda have enough couth and enough manners to understand that they shouldn't just destroy their country just because bad things are going on, or destroy their neighborhoods. So that's important to note as well, especially when they're calling them violent extremists, far-right, neo-Nazi, da-da-da-da-da, whatever label you want to put on them. And it's just like old ladies and stuff saying, hey, stop telling our grandkids to dress like the opposite sex. So yeah,